I'm yet to get onto Snapchat. I think one of these days I will Snapchat. But
Hello, my name is Vanessa Atim and I'm the founder of ProInterns. ProInterns is Uganda's online internship platform. Welcome to ProTalks. ProTalks is our online video series where we'll be interviewing business leaders, professionals, and entrepreneurs with the aim to inform, inspire, and educate young Ugandans. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Today we have our first guest, who is Joesph Kigozi, the CMO of Next Media Group. Welcome, Joe.
actually, the CSO, Chief Strategy Officer.
Oh, amazing. CSO,
Yeah.
the CSO of Next Media.
Yeah, Vanessa, I'm very privileged to be the first one on this show.
So, Joe, take us through your journey and your rise to CSO of Next Media.
My journey to becoming a chief executive in television has been a very long journey. I am a psychology graduate, by the way, by training. My first degree, I did psychology. And my journey into television was very interesting because at the time, I was the speaker of the Psychology Association in Uganda at Makerere University. So I was invited with two other lecturers to go and, elaborate about psychology because at the time most people didn't. We thought it was a very wonderful opportunity for us to answer so many questions. So I went to the national broadcaster. At that time it was UTV. And I think, like they say, the rest is history. That was the start of my 19-year journey in television. Now, after 5 years of working for UTV, rebranded to UBC, right now, I was there before it was rebranded to UBC. I actually was given another opportunity to start a TV. Now, that was the real stuff. Mm-hmm. So, having worked for radio, Dembe FM, I was required to resign my position at the national broadcaster and radio to take on a new opportunity after 5 years to start the first sports channel called Sports TV. At the time, I had done 8 years in television. And then, of course, the economic downturn comes in and everything changes. So I learned the trade from being a salesperson, from being a marketer, someone who enters as a presenter. After 8 years, I can sell any product on air. I can market any brand. I can be able to appear on air. I can produce any show. Now, those are skills that were priceless. Mm-hmm. So I started my own TV show then called 442.
Wow.
I started one of the biggest. And I must say, I need to thank the colleagues I worked with over the years. Mm-hmm. For me, it was a wonderful experience. I did something that I loved right from my story. I know that my story is very long. As I grew into the show, I now started getting into management. NBS took me on as their first corporate affairs manager. I also served in a capacity as acting HR. Mm. So pretty much by 2015, I had reached not the epitome of television, but I had reached a place where most young people want to be. But I'm counting 15 years of experience, of learning, and of passion.
And do you know what? And thank you so much for sharing your journey, which is so inspiring. And I remember when I originally met you, you even told me or shared with me, even the hustle before, you had your own soccer TV show and you joined NBS. So can you take us even, further back to when you had, say, for example, an internship or what you had, some sort of work experience? Because a lot of our young people think you can just start and then end up in this position. So what was your work ethic like even before then?
Yeah, my work ethic was pretty much not the usual work ethic that the young people normally exhibit. Mm-hmm. I used to do 3 jobs.
Wow.
I used to teach in an orphanage school. And I used to teach, it was 10 miles away from here. I would wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and go, and my lesson started at 7. So by 7 a.m., I'm in office. And then I was required to come back at 3 a.m. to go to university and do my evening classes. Now, after my evening classes, I would actually join UTV to go and do my TV show. And then I would leave like at midnight every day, every other day. And I'll do that. Then on Saturdays and Sundays, I used to do another sports show on radio. Now, I keep asking why young people say there are no jobs. I have a firm belief that the absence of jobs is a global phenomenon. Unemployment is a global phenomenon. But the unemployment levels are not entirely because someone has not created the job. It is because we lack the necessary skills. Because remember, I'm doing 3 jobs. Why am I doing 3 jobs when there's some young person out there who doesn't have a job? Because they were not willing to have the fortitude to learn different skills. I equipped myself with different skills that it was so hard for me not to be employed. If I'm not employed as a radio presenter, I'll be employed as a TV presenter. I will be a salesman. I'll be a marketer. I will teach. These are skills that I learned over time. Now, I used to also do a lot of public speaking. I gave part of my afternoons on Saturdays to go and talk to young people in schools and universities on how to build your career, on how to start your career, on how to develop your passion. Because everyone has got a different passion. Your journey cannot be my journey. But the long and short of my story is that at the age of 33, when I momentarily left NBS, I went out and started the Buganda Broadcasting Service, the Buganda TV. And I was the youngest CEO of a television station in Africa at the age of 33. For me, that is the greatest achievement of my career. So right now, I work as the head of strategy at Next Media, deputy CEO. And for me, I still think my journey is even just getting started. Now, that is exactly what I want to tell young people. Do not get into the thinking that you have arrived, what they call arrivalism. Learning can never stop. Even me, who is a chief executive right now in television, I still think I have a lot to learn. There's so much to learn because media has evolved so much. We are moving from analog broadcast to digital broadcast. We are looking at digital broadcast. We are looking at citizen journalism. So for me not to learn new ways in the media would be the greatest disservice to me. Because I believe everyone who succeeds in life succeeds because of passion. Work can be boring. I must tell young people out there. Work sometimes gets boring. But what gets us going every day is that I love what I do.
What do you think is one of the most hardest professional challenges that you faced? And how did you manage to overcome that?
I think one of the hardest professional challenges I've faced is I've been in an industry which has had connotations of old people. For you to be a CEO, you must be, this age. That was a very big challenge for me because, most people never understood that even at the age of 33, I had a lot of experience more than people who have been around in the industry. So for me, that was a very huge challenge to try and change that paradigm shift that actually young people, in fact, that's the challenge we have today. Our population speaks to us as one of the youngest in the world. But how many of us employers are willing to entrust our companies with young people? So it's a twofold argument. The young people have to prepare themselves to be trusted. But also the employers have to be ready to trust young people because they are the majority. They have a lot of ideas. They are very creative. They have a lot of passion. So for me, it's one of those challenges that have to be really answered. You talked about one of the things that I value the most. I value things like honesty. I believe that honest hard work and mastery of your trade must be based on honesty. You must always strive. I know it's not easy. I cannot preach to be a saint myself. But the idea is what is important. That you're going to become the best cameraman. Because when you go out there to shoot pictures, You have the passion to tell a story. You're not looking at how much money I'm going to be paid. You're looking at how much I can deliver my job. Then the person you're working for certainly is going to pay you because you've mastered your trade. You're being honest with yourself. Something that I always tell young people is that it doesn't matter what profession. Now, this is the dilemma young people have. Everyone wants to be a chief executive. Not all of us will be a chief executive. I am saying you can be better than being a chief executive. You can impact society by being the best cameraman, the best videographer, the best cinematographer. My point is, whatever you choose to do in life, do it with passion. Do it with the aim of being the best. And once you have that kind of attitude, companies are going to look for you. You're going to become the most valuable company. Your brand equity is going to be high up there because you are not just doing a job. You're solving a problem. Because cameramen don't just do the job. They solve a problem. They do great documentaries that change lives of young people, change the lives of the world. They tell stories. So for me, those are very, very critical, things that are dear to my heart that I feel I need to share with young people. You can choose to be the best designer in the world. You can choose to be the best, sportsman in the world. And I think about Muhammad Ali. Think about Mike Tyson. Think about Kipchoge, Joshua, the guy who was mocked by so many Ugandans. And then months on end, he's the most talked about person in the world. So this, for me, is a true story. That whatever you choose to do it well. Do it with passion. Do it with honesty. Seek to be the master of your trade.
On to my last question. What would you say to your 20-year-old self? So if you could look back, all of the hustle, and bustle, all of the 3 jobs you were doing, back then, what would you say to your 20-year-old self to kind of say, keep going on the right track? Or what would you say, knowing what you know now, being in the position that you are in now, with all of the skills that you have acquired, what would you say to your 20-year-old self?
My 20-year-old self. I was born in 1981. That makes me 39. Mm-hmm. I celebrate my 40th birthday next year in April.
Amazing.
Now, 20 years ago, I would want to be a professional footballer. Mm-hmm. I would tell myself I would have played football. But now I'm telling the 20-year-old Joe that, you know what? In life, passion is important. But it's also very, very important to be versatile. Because if I had chosen to simply follow that dream, I don't think I would have been there. So I'm speaking to this Joe who is 20. I'm telling him that, yes, I know you wanted to be a footballer, but how can you use your passion to achieve what you want to do? But I'm also telling them that that dream did not die, because right now you have a soccer academy. So the dream never died. But I have gone through all that journey, the 20-year journey. But I said one day, because I believed so much in that talent, I should be able to pursue it. So for me right now, I think I'm living my dream at the age of 20. 20 years later, the dream is being realized. So never give up on your dream. Let no one tell you you cannot do it. Mm-hmm. If you believe in it, you persistently do it diligently and honestly, believe me, the naysayers will be the ones to applaud you and say, wow, that guy used to tell us about this dream. And now he's living the dream. That's what I'll tell a 20-year-old Joe.
And you are living the dream, Joe.
And I'm living the dream.
You are. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for being our first speaker for our ProTalks edition. You have inspired me, and I hope you are all feeling so inspired at the end of this interview. Please do, Joe. Where can all of our viewers follow you? Where can they engage with you?
Of course, you could follow me. I work at NBS, Next Media Group, and of course, you should be able to find me at the Next Media Park, a wonderful home. I'm very proud of what we do every day to change the lives of Ugandans. but also because I am almost 40 in terms of my biological age, but I'm 20 years in terms of my psychological age. So I'm very, very young. You can find me on Twitter, on my Twitter handle at Joesph Kigozi. And of course on my Instagram, Joesph Kigozi. You can also find me there. I'm yet to get onto Snapchat. I think one of these days I will Snapchat. But I am very privileged to really be the first, guest on this show. And what you're doing is wonderful. Because for the young people, I can only tell them, do not aspire to be like Joe. Aspire to be better than Joe.
Awesome. Thank you so much. As I've said, my name is Vanessa Atim. Please do visit our website, ProInterns, pro-interns.com. If you are an intern or a young person seeking employment, please do sign up, create an account, and apply for the available opportunities. And if you are an employer, as Joe said, looking for young talent, looking for fresh minds to add value to your business, please do go onto our website and create an employer account where you can post your opportunity. We look forward to seeing you again for edition 2 when we have our next guest speaker, which is to be announced. Thank you so much.